Welcome to Type Talk by TAM Psych Advice. Today's topic is conflict. How do you handle conflict in general? And we'll also explore how different MBTI types handle conflict. So conflict is defined as a serious disagreement or argument, an eternal conflict between men and women. Sometimes parents and children's interests sometimes conflict. It's a dispute, a quarrel, a squabble, disagreement, difference of opinion, or it means to be incompatible or to clash. So how do you handle conflict? How does your MBTI type handle conflict? The goal is to find an agreed upon solution, which sometimes requires compromise. When I think of a type that hates conflict, I think of my type, which is the Enfj. We like harmony almost at all cost. Sometimes we'll agree to things just to keep the arguments and disagreements and frictions down, especially in the world at large, like when you're at work or you're dealing with cousins or distant relatives. Now, in a personal relationship, like a romantic relationship, that could change slightly. So when I think of a type that welcomes some arguments, I think of the Entp because they like to debate sides. They don't shy away from it. They don't fear it. But how do they handle a real conflict? Some Entps, they can shut down or become very angry at times if it's something that really gets to their heart or really is something that they believe in strongly in, and they're in a romantic relationship and that person disagrees with them. That can be a problem for some ENTPs. So NFs tend to like harmony. You're probably going to see a more argumentative nature in NTs and SJs. So right fighting. As you know, your MBTI changes how you view things. So we all need to be better listeners. If you're having conflict with someone and no one is listening and everybody is taking a stance, then what's the point? You may as well not even state your point. You have to repeat back to the person. In MBTI, if you understand the different letters, that might be a solution to solving the problem. But you have to make the other person, or at least acknowledge that you understand what it is that they're trying to say, and then you need to come to a compromise. Where is a point of conflict with Myers-Briggs? I think the number one would be thinkers and feelers. For one thing, 75% of men are thinkers and 75% of women are feelers. And so when you think in terms of romantic relationships, that's going to be probably the most common point of conflict. I actually recently witnessed a conflict between parents, and they were even throwing out the divorce word. A child did something wrong, and the mother, who was a thinker, decided to send the child to his room. While the father, who's a feeler, was upset because he said that the little boy says that he's scared to be in his room by himself. He's 4 years old and it's scary up there. So he doesn't want to send him to his room anymore. And the mom feels like he did something wrong. I'm going to be objective about it and he has to have consequences. I agree with that. I think a consequence or a punishment has to be uncomfortable, especially if you want a child to be raised with ethics, morals, boundaries, what's right, what's wrong, and learn to live in our society, which is built on many laws and rules. They first need to acknowledge each other's point of view and figure out some ways to compromise. Balance is the key, and having different perspectives is a good thing. As a child, I had an INTJ parent and I had an ISTP parent. So one of the parents was a lot tougher, a lot more temperamental than the other type. The other type was super laid back, but I liked having both. I wouldn't want to have two INTJ parents or two ISTP parents because the INTJ parent offered more of a push, more of a take things to the next level. You can do better. I got that intensity with that parent. But sometimes I needed the ISTP parent that was laid back, more relaxed, not so intense, with a calmer nature. There are some couples out there who have learned how to manage life without any conflict or without any arguments, or some couples have very few arguments. And if you're one of those, that's awesome, that's great. But most people are going to have some conflict. So change your perspective about what conflict is. It's a part of life, it's a difference in opinion. Sometimes arguments and conflict can go very, very deep. So you want to try to resolve that conflict by thinking of a time and place that you're going to actually talk about it. Listen to the other person, ask questions, set a timer if you need to. Stick to one conflict at a time. Don't bring up other things that have happened or bash the other person's personality. If you do understand Myers-Briggs, use that to your advantage. Break down which letters am I seeing this issue with? Or you can look at the person and say, okay, why is it that this is so upsetting to them? Change your point of view on how you think of a conflict. For example, having someone in your life who's different from you is a great thing. There are benefits to that. So try not to think of it as a deal breaker, unless it is a deal breaker, like cheating or something major like that. But just having a disagreement or having an opposing viewpoint is not a reason for divorcing someone. So try to work it out today. Make that your goal for this week, is to practice dealing and resolving conflict. So thanks for watching Type Talk. Please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next Type Talk video. Bye.